I'm here today with the 2019 RAV4 Hybrid. This is the limited all-wheel drive trim, pretty much a fully loaded new RAV4. We have lots of great features in here, a fantastic JBL sound system, heated and cooled seats, selectable drive modes, eco, normal, sport, trail mode, heated steering wheel, 360 surround cameras, and of course, Toyota's hybrid all-wheel drive system. I've been driving this RAV4 Hybrid for about a week, put about 350 miles on it, and I've really been looking forward to getting behind the wheel of one of these. I did drive a normal RAV4 earlier this spring, and I was surprised at how nice it was to drive and how good the ride quality was. However, I was a little disappointed at the powertrain. It was loud, it was a little bit rough. This hybrid, though, fixes all of my issues with the regular RAV4. It's an incredibly efficient SUV. I think it's a nice size. It's really, really roomy and comfortable. And it actually might be our next vehicle. We'll see. We've been kind of cross-shopping different crossovers and SUVs lately, and this seems to kind of fit right into the perfect mix of fuel economy, off-road capability, and daily usability that fits our lifestyle. So anyway, going into this review, know that I've pretty much already decided we're going to get one of these things, and my fiance loves this vehicle. So after spending a week with it, I do really, really like this a lot. Let's go into some reasons why, and just take you on a tour around. We have a full-size spare tire, maybe not in width, but in diameter. With all-wheel drive systems, you do want to get that nice spare tire back there. A little bit of a cargo cover back here to keep prying eyes away. JBL subwoofer. A tailgate button that you can lower and raise the tailgate. You could also pull on it. I wish that also had a lock button integrated as well. That would be nice. And from back here, it looks a lot like a Jeep. I do like the new design on the RAV4s. They've kind of gone a direction that's similar to the Toyota 4Runner and Tacomas. It's a little bit more of a rugged hiking shoe look. Lots of nice space in the back seats here. We even have a heated seat option by the window. I have plenty of room to put my feet under the driver's seat. We have a couple of 2.1 amp USB plugs right there. Cup holders. It's roomy, spacious back here, no complaints. All the materials feel nice and premium. The insides of the door handles have a kind of rubberized coating. Easy enough to get in and out of. This Limited has the larger 18-inch wheels. The headlights are fantastic. For a POV night drive video, visit the Winding Road Magazine YouTube channel. Let's hop inside and show you guys what it looks like on the interior here. I love the ergonomics of this new RAV4. So you have neat little spots and areas to put things. There's even a space here to put your phone or some paperwork, what have you. There are plenty of cup holders, space here with wireless Qi charging or key or whatever it's called. I don't really have it on my phone, so I don't really know anything about it, but it's there. I have my iPhone hidden in the center armrest. Very easy to use, very easily laid out. This center display is all digital. It can show you your gas mileage, hybrid information, all-wheel drive, torque distribution, stuff like that. Toyota Safety Sense info. As you can see, I've been averaging 37.6 miles to the gallon this week, which is pretty cool. Let's pop the hood and look under there. Pretty typical Toyota hybrid systems there. 219 combined horsepower going to all four wheels. The front wheels are only powered by the motor, but the rears can be powered by the electric motors as well as the front. car's been on this whole time, but it hasn't been running. If you press the gas pedal, it will turn on. One thing I noticed about this new RAV4 is when you put it in reverse, it gives you a very spooky electric sound as you back up. It's much louder outside the vehicle, and that's to warn pedestrians that you're in a low-speed parking lot when your engine may not be turned on. Steering is light. And I think this, as a crossover, falls in to be a really nicely sized vehicle. It's not too wide, it's not too long. It's the right height. You feel like you can see at a reasonable height compared to a lot of the larger SUVs. And the fuel economy this thing gets is amazing. It's rated for 42 miles to the gallon in the city and 38 on the highway. Maybe it's 41 in the city. Anyway, it's pretty high. You should be averaging around 38 to 40 mpg in the combined cycle. I've been averaging 37.5 all week over all of my driving, and that's including filming videos where, I don't necessarily have a light foot. I'm really, really impressed with the fuel economy in this thing. The power delivery from this eCVT is incredibly smooth and consistent and easy to control. I haven't really messed around with the drive modes too much. Sport mode will give you a little bit more power. EV mode will, of course, make everything eco-oriented and kind of lower the throttle resolution. One thing I did hear some complaints on from other journalists and other publications was just the brake pedal. To me, I don't have any problems with this brake pedal. It feels just like any other hybrid system from Toyota. They've been doing a really nice job lately. It feels very progressive. There's no noticeable difference between the regen and actual brake pad on rotor transition. It's very progressive. It's a little bit sensitive. You do have to kind of recalibrate your foot to adjust for how sensitive the braking is, but one or two stops in this vehicle and you figured it out. Overall, I really do like the way this thing drives. I think some of the high points are ride quality. The new RAV4 is one of the best riding crossovers on the market these days. It's really smooth. It's really nice over potholes. The XSE is a little bit sportier of a RAV4 hybrid, and that may not ride as well as the limited and the standard versions, but it'll handle better. Personally, in a crossover, I'm not looking for a sporty experience. I'm looking for a comfortable and easy to drive experience. This RAV4 hybrid has adequate handling. The tires are a little bit noisy because they're probably eco-oriented, but the handling feels great. It holds decent speeds around entrance ramps and is reasonably responsive. Not a lot of body roll. And as you saw there, it has adequate power too. 219 horsepower. It's really responsive also. Very little lag.
Watch out, vehicle stopped on road ahead.
Between putting the accelerator down and actually getting some power out of the drivetrain. It is a little noisy at speed. There's some wind noise, but maybe that's because the drivetrain is so quiet. That's one of the things you notice first. Overall, it's very comfortable in here. It's very, very nice to live with on a daily basis. The seats are good. They're a little bit on the firmer side, but I haven't had any back issues even on longer hour and a half long drives. They've been very, very comfortable. I'm usually kind of sensitive to that stuff. Going over a really bumpy road here, noticing that you really don't feel a lot in terms of potholes. There's a little bit of cabin intrusion from the suspension and chassis over bumps, a couple little rattles here and there, but overall it's a very quiet riding and driving experience. Let's throw it into sport mode here just for fun. A little bit of noise from the tires. That is the limiting factor in handling here. Decent amount of grip though. You can feel that instant torque from the electric motors powering all four wheels as you exit the corner. I do really like the cruise control and the radar guided cruise control system in this RAV4. It's super easy to engage. It's definitely one of the best applications that Toyota has integrated into their vehicles. One press to turn on the system, up, down to control your speed. You can quickly control your following speed with a press of a button here, and then of course you have your lane centering with steering assist that you can easily turn on with a press on and off right there. It does a pretty good job keeping you centered in your lane. If you need to take your eyes off the road, your hands off the wheel for a second, adjust something in the vehicle. It's a nice system that does a good job. Ultimately though, I've been leaving it off this week and haven't really done a lot with it. Even at full throttle, the noise from the drivetrain is nicely isolated. I really don't have a lot of complaints about this RAV4. It hits all the marks. I mean, there aren't a lot of other crossovers on the market that get this fuel economy. I don't think there are any crossovers on the market that get this fuel economy, except for maybe the Mitsubishi, the new Honda CR-V. That's not offered in a hybrid, and maybe they will at some point. But for now, this kind of takes the cake as far as efficiency. And I love Toyota's new hybrid systems. They are just so smooth. They're so great to drive. They're very comfortable. And the quietness and smoothness adds to, I think, a feeling of luxury in the driving experience. Test our turning radius here. Pretty good. The torquiness and the responsiveness from this hybrid system is really nice too, especially when driven on a daily basis. You can pull out of tight gaps very quickly and get a ton of traction off the line with a little bit of wheel spin. But that's what happens when you don't have differentials, or at least limited slip differentials. All right, let's go in here and let's do an audio test of this JBL sound system. There we go. JBL always does a really nice job in their limited Toyotas, and here we are cruising at 49 miles an hour in EV mode. Nice deep rich bass, clear trebles, no complaints about the sound system. It's a very nice clear unit that's powerful as well. Okay, before that song brings the mood down too much, you get the idea what the sound system sounds like. So, how can we sum up this RAV4? Does everything really quite well. It's kind of expensive. This is a $40,000 proposition, but it does start around 28 grand for a lower trim model without as many features. So you can still get a lot of this hybrid goodness, the great drivetrain, the nice ride quality, the excellent appointed cabin for the most part, and you pick out what you want. Personally, I really like having some of these nicer features. The sound system is awesome. This is probably the spec that I would go for, and it makes for a really, really nice daily driver. The hybrid system is very well matched to a vehicle this size and weight. I can very comfortably cruise at 25, 30, 40 miles an hour sometimes in full EV mode, depending how much charge is in that hybrid battery system. There's really no drawbacks from getting the hybrid except for maybe a little bit extra cost. There's no reduced cargo capacity in the back. These battery packs are smaller than the previous versions, so you really not a lot of trade-offs at all. So I really like that about this latest generation. I think that's a big win. The fuel economy numbers really do speak for themselves, and it's quite impressive what this RAV4 is able to achieve. While we're nearby here, let's hop into this parking structure. I'll just show you guys the headlights in a darker area. Really impressive lights in this RAV4. Sharp cutoff. They have really good range. I was driving early this morning at about 4 a.m. my fiance to the airport, and we were both quite impressed with the brightness and the clarity from these lights. See up here a little bit easier. Again, for the full POV night drive, check out the Winding Road channel, but this kind of gives you an idea of these lights. All right, let's park this thing and wrap up the review. That's pretty much all I have to say about the new RAV4. It's a really, really impressive overall package, and I have really enjoyed driving it this week. After we've compared the Mazda CX-5, the CR-V, they're really good options, but ultimately this is kind of the full package for me that checks all the boxes. It's a little bit larger than I would like. I wish they kept the dimensions on these RAV4s slightly smaller, more true to original form, but I think with the interior space and the overall capabilities of this car, it's worth it. Really, most people this is all they're gonna need out of a vehicle. So, anyway, guys, I think this is gonna be really the only review I'll do this week. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and maybe in a couple years we'll end up with one in our garage. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.